Okay, so in the last video, I showed you how to download and install VMware Workstation Player, and we can see we have it right here on our desktop. Now I'm going to go through and show you a penetration testing Linux virtual machine. So Kali Linux is quite well known. It's put together by Offensive Security. So let's just go have a look at it. So Kali's here. We want to go into the downloads. And there's quite a few variants. So runs on 64-bit and 32-bit operating systems. Most of the time, you'll just go 64-bit because it'll work with the widest variety of things. Kali Linux Lite is a version of Kali Linux that just has less tools on it. And you can see here, it's quite different in size when you're downloading it. Some of these, I'm not quite sure. I haven't really used them before. But to make this easy, we're going to use the Kali Linux 64-bit VMware. So this will download it in a format where we can just pretty much install it straight onto VMware Workstation and get it running straight away. So just click here. This will take you to the Offensive Security page. These guys do a whole bunch of training. But we'll just scroll down and we can see we can get the 32-bit or the 64-bit torrent. I've already downloaded this. So click on here. Stop the video and come back when your download is finished. All right, welcome back. So here I've got a USB. I've already downloaded the Kali Linux VMware. So I'm just going to copy this and I'll put it into my downloads folder. Awesome. So this should be where you're at after you've just downloaded Kali Linux from earlier in the video. I'm just going to extract all here. It's going to extract it, and I've already got the folder open. So this will take a little while. Because we're downloading the VMware version of Kali Linux, the file will be quite large because it's done all the configuration settings for us. So just to cover off on what a virtual machine is it just emulates what a normal operating system would be within a virtualized environment. So you can control the hardware aspects that may be connecting to it, how much memory it has, how much disk space it has. Of course, all of this has to be equal to or less than your actual operating system. And if you're making it equal to your operating system, you're going to have some failures because your operating system won't have any memory to run the software that is running this operating system. The benefit is you can tear down and build up VMs whenever you want for testing. Once you get into more forensics-based stuff, you could attack some Windows VMs and then take the artifacts from that and see what's happening. All right, great. So this is extracted. Let's go into here. As we can see, there's a whole bunch of files. So let's open up VMware Workstation 15 Player and see if we can get this installed. We just want to use non-commercial use. Go continue, finish. Awesome. So let's try opening a virtual machine. So because we've downloaded Kali, and we can see here, this is the file that we want. It's quite small because this will just be a pointer file for the rest of the VM and how it's set up. Just double click on that. And we have Kali Linux 2019.4 version. It's already been assigned 2 gig of RAM. We can go into the virtual settings here. So we can see it's been assigned 2 gig, which is recommended. For Kali, I wouldn't really put any more in here. Processors doesn't matter too much. It won't actually work on this system too well. The hard disk space has been given 80 gig. We can up this, but you'll need to repartition the drive once you do that. Another one to know here is NAT. So this is going to use our host's IP address. So it'll pretty much connect an internet browser through Kali through just our normal internet search. It will give it a private IP address within VMware. So when we want to connect to other VMs, if we're running up multiple, we will be able to do that. Or we can put on a host-only network, which means we won't be able to connect out. And we have a USB controller, which is important. Sometimes when you install VMs, this won't be present. So if you try and plug in a USB, you won't be able to connect the USB through to the machine either. Yeah, okay. That's probably enough for the settings for now. So I'll just go okay. And let's play this virtual machine. Yeah, if you don't know, always just go, I copied it. It's what I always do. I'm never really sure. VMware tools. So this will allow the screen resolution to change. It'll also allow you to drag and drop when you have VMware tools installed. So let's just download and install. This is doing it automatically for us while Kali's running up in the background. Let's see. Okay, let's leave that downloading in the background, see if we can just use this. So let's go root. The password is root backwards or Tor. This is the same for any generic Kali installation. I know there was talk about Kali being default root for the installation. I believe that you're still pretty much the administrator with this version of Kali. So if you're worried about someone kind of hacking into your virtual machines, if you're doing some hack the box or anything like that, it's always recommended that you change your default password. I'll show you how to do that now. And turn off unnecessary ports, because the default installation of this, I believe, is quite open. But there are hardening guides you can just look up online if you just Google Kali hardening guide. Okay, let's go yes. So this is finished. I may need to restart this for all the things that take effect. Great. So if you've never used Linux before, it's known for being quite command line heavy, and you shouldn't be afraid of that. It's quite easy to learn. It's running a nice GUI at the moment, so we can have the file structure still. So root, this is your user. You have documents downloaded, same as Windows. It's got a file system itself. This is a typical Linux file system. If you manage to get on a course that someone can show you this, it's quite interesting how Linux sets up its file structure and just where common things are. So Etsy is quite a common one that's used a lot, because there's the Etsy password and the Etsy shadow file where credentials are stored. So Etsy password file stores the users and what type of password they have, whether it's encrypted or not. And shadow is now used for the salted encrypted passwords. Usually the shadow is restricted to just the root user password file. More people can look at. But if you can get your hands on both, you can use tools to put them together and try and crack passwords, which is important when you're doing penetration testing or CTF challenges and that kind of thing. Cool. What I generally like to use is just the command line. So that's this little terminal thing up here. There's a few different tools that you can use across this, but I think it's password. So if you're ever unsure, you can do like TACH, and this will show you the help options. So this is the password options to change your password. So because I'm logged into root, I can type in password, and then I think it's options and then login. So let's just try it. So let's go password, root, new password. So from here, I can change my password from Tor. So I can change it to I am root with a full stop. I am root. Cool. So that's updated my password. And then you can also go back and just change it back to Tor so I don't forget it. But yeah, that's an easy one how you can change. The TACH or the TAC help is always how you get quick help within the terminal. Another way to do it is you can go man password. So this will bring up the man pages. If I just make this full screen, you can scroll through this. So this will give you a lot more information. You can also Google this, and this will be easily read through a browser or something if you don't find this as easy. Cool. So I'm going to leave it here. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to install and where to download a Windows 10 VM. And then from there, we're going to try and network them together and attack one. And we'll come back into the Kali machine for that. All right, I'll see you then.